Okay, let's call the meeting to order. This is the Subcommittee on Matters relating to Railways meeting and election of chairman. In accordance with House Rules, Article 22 and Appendix 4 of the House Rules, please make nominations for chairmanship. A valid nomination has to be made orally by one member and seconded orally by another member, and the must be accepted by the nominee. So, any nomination, please? Mr. Yu Siwing, Mr. Michael Tian. Any seconder? Mr. Chen Hanpan, seconds. Yes, seconded by Mr. Chen Hanpan. I accept the nomination. As I am being nominated, and I accept the nomination in accordance with the election procedure, so the Vice Chairman will take over the role of conducting the election, please. All right, any other nomination? If not, then I declare Mr. Michael Tian elected uncontested as the Chairman of the Subcommittee on Matters relating to Railways for this session. Congratulations.
All
right. Election of Deputy Chairman for this subcommittee. Again, valid nomination has to be made by one member. Mr. Wilson Orr, I nominate Mr. Chen Hanpan. Nominated by Mr. Wilson Orr. Any seconder? Seconded by Mr. Edward Lau. Any other nomination? Okay. Mr. Chen Hanpan, do you accept the nomination? Yes, I do. Okay. I declare, well, as there is no other nomination, I declare Mr. Chen Hanpan elected and contested as the Deputy Chairman of the Subcommittee on Matters relating to Railways. Mr. Chen, would you like to come forward and sit beside me? No? All right. Let's move on to the next item. First on the schedule of meetings for the 2017-18 session. A regular meeting. Well, in these, the meeting schedule has been listed. Or like the past, it will be held every other month on a Friday at 10:45 a.m. Any question? No? I open the discussion at the next meeting. Well, as I stated in the paper, the Hong Kong section of the XRL progress update and also progress update of the construction of the Sha Tin to Central Link. These are the two proposed items for discussion in the December meeting. Members, any views on the agenda items? Mr. Chen Hanpan. On the signal system of MTRC, I would like to have a chance to discuss it because many of the systems are going to be replaced, like that for the NT East and also for the Kwun Tong line because of the signal failure. The copper cables will be replaced by optic fiber, and some of the signal systems will also be replaced. So I hope to have a dedicated chance to discuss that. And also for the railway development, that will be discussed in 2018. I hope that can be discussed soonest because for MT West railways, they are now very congested. Now, earlier on, we talked about having a discussion on the further development of the LRT, but then we seldom discuss LRT here at the subcommittee. So I'm asking for a chance to discuss that, and maybe we should also undertake a site visit. Any other views? Dr. Elena Wong, Chairman. In the next meeting, I think we should discuss as soon as possible about the co-location arrangement, the three-step process. The Chief Executive and the Secretary for Justice have said something recently, and they said that they can actually proceed with the three-step process at the same time when the society is debating on it. So that means that the government must have certain materials to discuss with the mainland authorities, and that is on the operation of the XRL. What is exactly the subject that they're discussing? So can they be asked to submit the discussion that they're going to have with the mainland authorities? They're about to begin that, but at the LegCo, we never know what they are going to discuss. So in the discussion between the Hong Kong government and the mainland authorities, well, the LegCo members will be given a chance to give our views on that. Mr. Wilsonor, thank you, Chairman. On Mr. Chanham Pang's on Railway Development Strategy 2014, I agree that we should discuss that soonest, because it involves a lot of the railways and how they're going to be arranged. And also, secondly, can the MTRC be asked to update us on the platform facilities, because right now at different stations there is congestion and there are different arrangements in controlling the pedestrian and the passengers, and that has to do with their overall strategy. So on these two subjects, can MTRCL be asked to come up to discuss these? I believe that your second point covers also LRT, right? Yes. Dr. Cheng Chung Tai. Thank you, Chairman. I agree that we need to discuss light rail. We discussed about it in June this year, about its future development. But for the realignment plans, I mean, these are discussed very seldom. And for Tuen Mun and Yuen Long, there has been a lot of controversy. We should discuss that. And there is a subject which is a marginal topic for this subcommittee, I believe, that has to do with the topside development of stations. Now, normally it is discussed at the Development Bureau, but can we discuss it here also at this subcommittee? Some members referred to the future development of railway. There will be development at Wong Chuk Hang, Phase 2, and that has to do also with the platform facilities and all the property development next to the station, etc. So can we discuss this at the subcommittee? If you think that's not appropriate for this subcommittee, maybe that can be discussed at the event panel. Anyway, we should discuss it wherever. Now, we have this, this is a subcommittee under the panel on transport, and maybe we should not be discussing some subjects here, and your point, your concern relates to property development. Maybe that discussion straddles across different departments, and if we are just discussing this by ourselves, I don't think that serves so much point. Anyway, I will reflect your views to the relevant parties. Mr. Jeremy Tam. I would also like to talk about the RDS 2014. If you look at Agenda 5, well, actually, a LegCo member in 2015 has requested the administration to discuss that. And later on, we raised 2 times that this subject be discussed. I know that the MTRC has come up with studies and proposals which have been submitted to the government, and that includes the East Kowloon extension line. I hope that we can discuss this as soon as possible, not as late as Q2 2018. Maybe we can discuss this within this year or latest by Q1 in 2018. Well, 2018 is just around the corner. So so if you want to discuss it at Q1, then that means the meeting after December is going to be quite soon. But anyway, I'll reflect your views. And after it all boils down to whether they can submit any proposals to us. Mr. Yu Siwing, there will be the environmentally friendly system in Kai Tak. So can we, the monorail, yes, can we discuss that? You are talking about the monorail at the Kowloon East Development. Yes, that should be dealt with by the development panel. Well, unless they said that this will be subsumed under the THB, then that it will get to us. Now, to my understanding, it's the Development Bureau which is working on that. But anyway, I know that they are discussing the subject and they are considering whether they should hire a team to work on this monorail, and if the monorail is completed, the team will be left with no job. So they are really concerned about this. They are studying it now. Ms. Claudia Mo, for the proposed timetable for discussion, the XRL is going to be discussed in December. It's too late. We should advance the discussion of this item because we talk about three-step process. That first is a cooperation arrangement. They said that the proposal will be submitted to the MPC in December. So if we discuss it only in December, so the timing is not right. And also, you said that that is going to be the subject is on customs, immigration, and quarantine facilities (CIQ). I think what we are more concerned is that mainland enforcement bodies will be able to enforce mainland laws in the mainland port area. I think that's a point of concern. We should discuss it ASAP. Now, the paper says that CIQ will be discussed, and so they've been misleading us all along. We've got new information coming up, presented to us. So I have to seek a clarification from them as to whether they will give us new information. I understand your views very well, Mr. Chan Han Pan. Now, for the XRL and the collocation arrangement, it straddles a few panels. And at the panel on transport, that has already been discussed. And here, we should be discussing works projects. If we are talking about policies, they should be taken up, say, at the panel, the House Committee, or even the full Council. It's not right for this subcommittee to take up this up. And in August, the three panels have joined hands to convene a meeting. So I don't think that subject is appropriate for discussion at this subcommittee on railways. Any further views, Dr. Helena Wong? I beg to differ. This is a subcommittee on matters relating to railways. We're not a railway project or works projects subcommittee. For some of the outstanding items, we talk about development strategy, manpower, environmental protection. These are not works projects, right? So why don't you ask, say, the Public Works Subcommittee to discuss the works projects? I agree with Ms. Claudia Mo. If we can advance the December meeting earlier, then that will be best, because the government has been telling us that they have to start the three-step process. So by December, I'm afraid that they already signed the arrangement agreement already. So if we can discuss that sooner, then that would be best. All right? Other members, any views? If not, then? Well, I've heard all your suggestions. Some would like the certain items to be discussed next year, and some would like the certain items to be discussed in November, and whether certain items gone beyond the scope or the terms of reference of this subcommittee. Anyway, I will talk to the relevant departments on this. I will be meeting with the THB very soon to discuss the agenda items. I would like to have a meeting with them before the 1st of December. And I would like to talk to them in detail about the XRL project. What are they going to tell us or discuss with us in the next meeting? We have to confirm with them.
Tanya Chan, first of all, as two members have pointed out, we would like to know about the matters relating to the XRL. Also, it has been reported earlier, and the chairman has also expressed his concern about the operation of XRL and the KCRC. Certainly, it is within the purview of this select committee. I also know that this select committee will later on be visiting the Sha Tin Central Line work site. I think Chairman will understand that it is through the committee that members will be invited to visit the Sha Tin Central Line. Earlier on, the MTRCL on the 2nd of August, or the 7th of August, or 2nd rather, had invited a number of councillors to visit the XRL. I hope the chairman will fight on our behalf for our visit to the XRL station, and that there should be a formal invitation issued by the Secretariat of LegCo, and that members will accompanied by officials during the visit. I think that would be the more proper arrangement. This is a very important issue. I believe that it is appropriate that we have this on record in this council. Regarding the question of who will operate the XRL, how it's going to operate, and so on, I don't think this is within the terms of reference of this select committee. As you all know, we have no say as far as the determination of the fare is concerned. That would be within the ambit of the transport panel. For such issues, they will be under the purview of the transport panel. And for the agreement to be signed between Hong Kong and the mainland authorities, whether there will be any form of guarantee and whether there will be any guarantee of profit, that should be within the ambit of the transport panel. Our responsibility is, as for our part, we will be discussing the technical aspect and the operational aspects. Helena Wong. Chairman, I agree with Ms. Tanya Chan that we should arrange as soon as possible for a formal visit to the XRL terminus in West Kowloon by members of this council. There are 4 stories at the terminal, and I think we should go down to the customary of the main authorities. We should also go to the platform and so on, because once the decision is made, we won't be able to enter premises, and we wouldn't even have be able to discuss the details. Some newspapers have reviewed that the floor plan for the mainland for the MPA. So I think electoral members have never seen that, and we are not able to verify whether it's true or not. So I hope that Mr. Chen, our chairman, can ask the government for a plan of the mainland port area, and after we've seen it, we can, visit the work site for the mainland port area. There's one more point regarding timing. Chairman, I noticed that for our meeting for December the 1st, I don't know whether it could be advanced. If we couldn't deal with the subject in November, I think that meeting will clash with the education panel meeting. It's exactly at 10:45 on Friday. I wonder whether we could, meet earlier, so the members don't have to, rush in between the 2 meetings. It's scheduled for 10:45 on December the 1st, and that is also the time for the education panel, and several of us are on that panel as well. Could we meet earlier on that day? Any views for the December 1st meeting if we were to meet earlier? I'm talking about our next meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for December the 1st at 10:45. Indeed, it does clash with the education panel meeting. Well, I can try to see whether or not we can arrange for our meeting to be held from 9 to 11:30. Mr. Chanampan, Chairman, from 9 to 12 that morning we have the committee investigating into the matters concerning Dr. Chen Chung Tai. So there will be a clash as well. Seven of us will be on that committee. Other than December 1st, what about the days immediately follow the 1st? I've consulted members on the proposed dates for our meetings already. All right. In that case, let's see what we can do regarding the December 1st meeting, whether we can find another slot and a room that is available, and that we won't have to clash with so many other meetings. How about meeting at 8:30? I think we can ask those members who are on the committee investigating into Dr. Chang to ask the questions first, and we don't mind meeting earlier. All right. Any objection if we were to meet at start at 8:30? All right. If that's agreeable, let's so decide. It's going to be 8:30. We can go. We can go on until 10:30. So on the 2nd, there will also be a clash with the education panel. So there will be, clashes with other meetings as well. Let's deal with this one by one. Now, I think we may need to actually meet earlier. I have no problem with that. If members are also agreeable, then now I'd like to ask whether members would like to start at 8:30 or 9 a.m. All right, 9 a.m. Okay, we start at 9 and we'll meet until 11:30. All right. Okay. Okay, we're starting at 9. And finally, members raise some very urgent issues. I believe I will need to liaise with the officials at the Transport and Housing Bureau to discuss the items for our meeting for December the 1st. And if we could indeed arrange for a visit, how are we going to do that and when we will go on that visit? So I try to, finalize that as soon as possible. Any other views? Any other business? If not, our meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.